Hey, welcome, welcome. Good evening, good evening, good evening, millionaires, good evening, millionaires. Welcome to yet another edition, okay, of Good Evening Millionaire. My name is Amma Nantwi. I go by Amma the CPA, your favorite CPA's favorite CPA, okay. And what is a CPA? A CPA is a certified public accountant. That's me, right? Which means that I'm registered and licensed to help the public when it comes to different accounting needs. So we do this video series. I don't know if I'm even live or not. This is crazy. It's taking a very, very long time. Let me see. Let me see. Wow, good evening, good evening, good evening, millionaires. Wow, it took way longer to go live than it normally takes. So I don't even know how much you guys saw me like sitting here waiting for it to go live. It was kind of ridiculous. So good evening, millionaires. Good evening, millionaires. My name is Amma Nancy. I go by Amma the CPA, right? CPA stands for, making sure the light is on. CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant. Right, which means that I am registered and licensed to help the public when it comes to different accounting needs. So welcome to yet another edition of Good Evening Millionaire. We do these videos, all about financial education, all about financial literacy, because I truly, truly believe that once we get a certain age, first of all, they don't teach us this stuff in school. And then once we get a certain age, we feel stupid to even ask, right? Because we feel like we should already know. So you can ask me anything. Okay, I'm always here to help. Make sure that you reach out to me if you have any type of question, if I can help you in any type of way, regardless of what business that you're in, how you make your money, etc., etc. It's just important to me what you do with it, and that's your life. So good evening, millionaires. Go ahead, put in the comments, good evening, millionaire. Greet your fellow millionaires and let us all know where you are calling in from. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to Good Evening Millionaire. We call each other millionaires. Why? Because everything happens 3 times, okay? The first time is in your mind. That's why we say millionaire minded. Okay, the second time is on paper. We want to write it down and make it plain. And then the third time is in the execution phase, millionaire. So go ahead, put in the comments, good evening, millionaires. Let us know where you are calling in from. And you never know where you will find another millionaire-minded family member in your city, right? A lot of times, or not even a lot of times, all the time, environment is stronger than willpower. So you want to make sure that you put yourself in contact with people that are of a like mind as yourself. So good evening. We're going to go ahead and dive right into this thing. Oh, before we get started, make sure that you guys check out AmmaTheCPA.com. Again, it's AmmaTheCPA.com. If somebody could put that in the comments for me, that would be awesome. Because listen, building an emergency fund is very, very important. We're going to get into it in a second. But the main thing is that emergencies come up. And the problem is that a lot of us are having difficulty making ends meet in the first place, right? So let alone taking care of an emergency. So that's why we need to set this up. But on my website, I have a free video series that kind of goes into detail on increasing your cash flow, right? It's a whole video series. It's 3 videos, so it's kind of short. but the videos themselves are not extremely long, right? So you can kind of get, look at it. You get one video every 24 hours, right, after you subscribe, and it's totally free. And it's very, very good content on increasing your cash flow. So if you feel like, you having difficulty making ends meet and stuff like that, then you definitely want to subscribe. You can also request a free 30-minute financial consultation with me if that's what you are in need of. So go ahead, share the broadcast. Make sure you share it on your personal page as well as in different groups that you are in. So good evening, Millionaire. We're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're talking about tonight why you need how to establish your emergency fund, but more important, why it is so important. So the first thing is that a lot of times, life is life, right? We have all these unexpected twists and turns and, and stuff like that. And we just don't even know how to really prepare for it. But how you prepare for it is your emergency fund, millionaires. So emergencies that people face, job loss, right? And all these are like, God forbid, knock on wood, all that good stuff, right? But people go through job loss, medical emergency. I don't necessarily say mental, right? But it could be, if a family member suffers like some type of mental health issue. So definitely like health issues, right? We can say health issues, including dental, right? Or any other medical, it could be a car accident or whatever. Anything, and it doesn't have to be, life-changing, but it could be life-changing for your pocketbook. Okay, we all know medical expenses are very, very high. Okay, medical insurance is extremely high. Unexpected home repairs, it could be anything. Your toilet is leaking, your furnace is not working, your boiler is not working, anything. Maybe any type of unexpected home repairs, car troubles, your car, something happens to your car, right? Maybe it's your tires, maybe it's your alternator, maybe it's your transmission, but something happens to your car and you have to get it fixed. How are you going to do any of this stuff and you are already having difficulty making ends meet? This is why you need an emergency fund. And let's not even take, we also forgot about unexpected travel expenses. Something happens to a family member where you have to get there right away, to make sure that things are taken care of. Maybe you just have to help them out for a little bit, but you have to get there right away. So maybe you have to fly out, maybe you have to drive, but unexpected travel expenses. So that's how, that's the reasons why we need this emergency fund and why it's so important to get it set up like right away. Now, I do know that saving money is not always easy. Okay, saving money is not easy, but at the same time, it could be a lot less painful when you have your emergency fund already established. So there was a recent study, and let me just see these statistics right real quick, and I may even post some of these later for you guys, but make sure that you guys are sharing the broadcast. I feel like, am I even live? Let me see what's going on. I don't see any. Hold on. I have to watch y'all. Good evening, millionaires. And my phone is just as slow. Oh, okay, my millionaires. Thank you. Love y'all. Okay, got comments, likes, and shares. It's always really important because you never even know. You personally might know this information already. So you may be like, okay, I'm heard it all before, that song, right? But at the same time, you never know who on your timeline has not heard this information. So that's why you want to make sure that you share it and stuff like that. So it was a recent study that found that a lot of people had unpaid medical bills, right? About 26% of people had unpaid medical bills. 22% have overdrawn their checking account, and that it's all types of bank NSFs and stuff like that related to that. So it's like, let me get this straight, you already don't have money, but now you got to pay money for not having money, right? It's crazy, but that's capitalism, and that's how this stuff is set up. 14% of people took out money from their retirement fund. If you go check out my video from yesterday, I was kind of explaining, how in my opinion, you don't want to do that. And then 10% of people took a hardship withdrawal from their retirement account. Same thing. More than 13% of people had one or more late mortgage payments. Now, if you don't pay your mortgage or your rent, things are bad. Why? Because you absolutely need a place to live, right? So it's like if you are not paying for that, then things are bad. You are definitely having some type of financial strains, financial difficulties, and you definitely want to reach out to me and see how, how we can help you out. And then, 3.5% of people file for bankruptcy. So bankruptcy is really, really huge, even though, that's only 3.5%. That's just the people that were surveyed. But you want to take all of this stuff into consideration, and this is why you definitely need to establish your emergency fund. When people file bankruptcy, it's because things have gotten so out of control that they just are like, I'm done. I need a clean slate. I need a clean slate. I cannot, And I think actually tomorrow I'm going to be going over if you feel like you need bankruptcy, right? Let me see. Something like that. I'll find it before we get out of here. So give us a number one. No, two things before we go ahead and get started. All about emergency fund, right? The first thing is obviously it can set you back because you already having difficulties making ends meet, but now you had to pay an extra $1,000, an extra $2,000, an extra, whatever. So now you really are having difficulty making ends meet. And did you know, this is the second thing before we go ahead and get started. The second thing is that, did you know that $20 a week, if you save only $20 a week, so just get in the habit of every Friday, just putting $20 into, some your emergency fund. Even if you pull it out and put it up, whatever it is, if you have difficulty just having money in around the house, maybe you want to give it to somebody else that you trust. And it's so funny, I have always been that person growing up for my friends. They would give me money and I would hide it behind posters and stuff like this. This person's over here, this person's over there, this person's but anyway, so if that's you, definitely reach out to somebody that you love. $20 a week, you'll have over $1,000 at the end of the year. So you want to just start thinking about different things like that. So the first thing that I want you guys to do, give us a number one and a share. Give us a number one and a share. We are almost out of here, believe it or not, right? Number one is you want to chart your income and expenses, because a lot of times we overspend and we don't even realize it, right? Sorry. We overspend and we don't even realize it. So you want to make sure that you include all your bills, your monthly as well as your quarterly, because a lot of times every month is not the same, okay? So think about it like this. This month you may have Mother's Day, right? It's Mother's Day coming up. We love our moms. But you may have, Mother's Day, and then you might have prom. You might have Mother's Day and your wife's birthday, something like that. Your daughter's birthday and Mother's Day, You're like my brother. You have your daughter's birthday, your wife's birthday, and Mother's Day all in the same weekend. Hey, right? Right? So every month is not going to be the same. So you want to make sure that you chart your income as well as your expenses so you can kind of adequately have everything set out, because that's what happens. It's you get so caught up with doing the same exact thing every single month. And now out of nowhere, you have two birthdays and a holiday. And you're kind of okay, man, what am I going to do? Something like that. So it just depends. And I'm not talking about my brother specifically, but I just thought about it because I have my niece's birthday, my sister-in-law's birthday, as well as my beautiful mom. We're celebrating Mother's Day as well. So you want to think about stuff like that. A lot of people have a lot of months where it's just a lot going on. My dad and I are born 2 days apart, right? 2 days apart. I'm the 16th, he's the 18th, and then Christmas is on the 25th. So it's like, go figure, okay? So you have to have all this stuff listed out to where you are prepared for it. And this is the first thing that you want to do for establishing your emergency fund, because when you have all of this kind of planned out, now you see what are the best months that you can put in more money and what are the months that you can put in less money. So if you have 2 holidays or 2 birthdays and a holiday in 1 month, then maybe that's not the month. Maybe that's the month where you only want to put in $20. Then when you get to your lighter months where it's nothing really going on, then you can say, okay, well, let me put up $50. But something you definitely want to get in the habit of putting money aside so that you can get your emergency fund established. So give us a number 2 and a share. We're almost out of here. Give us a number 2 and a share. I'm going to only give you guys a few more. Number 2 and a share. You want to set your goal, right? So set a goal, because a lot of times if you don't know, like the call that I did on Monday, for anybody that was able to tune in, that Money Matters call on Monday evening, it's like this. The more you don't know the game, you know, the rules of the game, then you're going to lose every single time. So you have to know the rules of the game, especially in this country, especially when it comes to your finances. So you have to set a goal, right? Because otherwise you're like literally shooting in the dark. You're literally like somebody, life is spinning you around with a blindfold and then you're trying to hit the bullseye. It's not going to work. So you have to have a goal, and that's for everything related to your finances. So, you know, of course, if like a whole bigger picture, you can definitely reach out to me and we can help get you set up with that, like a whole financial game plan. But just specifically for establishing your emergency fund, just set a goal. Do you want to have $1,000 by the end of the year? Do you want to have $1,000 at the end of 3 months? Do you want to have $2,000 at the end of the year? You know, whatever it is for you, you set that goal, okay? Then after you set that goal, you break it down into bite-sized pieces. So you say, okay, if I want to have $1,000 by this date, okay, how many weeks is from here to there? How many weeks is it? So divide the weeks by how much you want to have, and that's how much you have to save up every single week. Okay, so you want to give yourself bite-sized chunks, but definitely set a goal. Otherwise, you don't know what's going on, okay? Number 3, now after you set your goal, now that's when you plan it out. So you're like, okay, so this is how much I'm going to save up every single week or every 2 weeks or every month, $20, $100, whatever it is for you. And then now that you have that established, now that's your game plan, okay? That's your game plan for your emergency fund. And that's basically the bulk of it. Once you have your game plan, you know, and then you like, you know, you have your game plan, you have your goal, and you have your game plan. That's like the bulk of it, okay? So number 4, give us a number 4 and a share. Good evening, Millionaire. Give us a number 4 and a share. Okay, number 4 is you want to make this money accessible, but not too accessible. Okay, so what do I mean? I mean that when it's an emergency, you want to be able to access the money, but you don't want to be able to access it when you are like walking down Michigan Avenue here in Chicago and you see this store, or you know, you're on 53rd Street, it's a boutique and you're like, oh my God, right? So you don't want to be able to access it so easily, regardless of where you live at. You don't want to be able to access it so easily that you can see a boutique and you can see this online and you're like, okay, forget it. I'm going to just buy it and then I'm going to double up on my savings next time, because guess what? You won't double up. You're just taking this money out and then you just won't have it. Okay, so you definitely want to make it accessible, but not too accessible. So what I personally do is my initial savings, where I'm just like taking it from my checking account, and then once it's over here in my savings, then I can allocate it to like whatever investments and stuff like that I want. But I just don't, it's not that accessible. I don't have a debit card to it, and it's an online bank that takes 2 days to transfer the money. So when it's an emergency, you know, and this is even for my emergency fund or whatever, it's like when it's an emergency, then I'm like, okay, I have to get it in 2 days. You know, that's it. You know, now of course I have some money where it's like if I need money right now, right? But 9 times out of 10, you don't need it right now. You can be able to transfer, even if it's something like with your car. You know, you take your car to the shop, it's going to take them time to fix it. You can do the transfer at that time. But you just don't want to make it where you have access to this money and you're like using the wrong debit card by mistake. And next thing you know, you have no emergency fund. Okay. So last and definitely not least, now you have your plan, you have your goal, you broke it down into bite-sized increments. It's accessible, but not too accessible. And now you just stick to it. Easy enough. You stick to it. Maybe you get somebody to help hold you accountable for it, you know, like a significant other, a best friend, your mom, your dad, something like that. Somebody to just help hold you accountable for it so that you are not, you know, completely dipping into it and stuff like that. So millionaires, that just about does it for this evening's edition of Good Evening Millionaire. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Yes. Tomorrow we're talking about bankruptcy and how you know if you qualify and if it's something that you even need to do. Okay, so make sure that you guys tune in. I'm Amma the CPA, your favorite CPA's favorite CPA. If one of my millionaires could do me a favor and put in the comments of how they can join Dear Millionaire, that would be awesome, right? And then also don't forget to check out AmmaTheCPA.com if somebody could put that in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Make sure that you guys get back. Like if this sounds, you know, like it's something that you really need, an emergency fund, make sure you get back with me, the person that shared the video with you. You know, that's one of my millionaire-minded family members and business partners. So any of us can help you. So that's it. Each one teach one. We can totally change the world. Hope everybody has an amazing evening. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good evening, millionaires.